Triskel pit lapel that I made. I hope you're wearing yours too. Those of you who say it's a way of us showing ourselves, well, fuck you. It's not for the normies to show them that we exist. It's for us to find one another. That's the purpose of it. So if you living in isolation and terror and complain that no one out you can't find anyone with you, you do that, okay? You continue to do that. Continue to be paranoid in that regard, and don't find anyone. Just stay at home and videos all day and live in terror, okay? And this reminds me of Luthers who say to me every now and again, always with a fake name, what are you going to do about things? Some guy with a completely fake name, hiding away somewhere, and you say, you're hiding away in your fake name. And they go, oh, well, they know who I am. They really wanted to find me. It's just that kind of mentality, those gaslighting shits. Now, this is a very important video today, so you better fucking be paying attention. In the last couple of hours, there has been an overwhelming sense of pure evil has washed over this world. It is like, now we've had it all. We've had it all through the we had it all through the whole Rona thing, through the whole lockdowns and everything. But it's big now, and of course, it's directly linked to what's happening in Afghanistan. Now, I have a theory right now that will be very frightening to people, but I'm going to stand by it, okay? The ones that are coming from Afghanistan in the plains are not refugees from the Taliban. They are the Taliban. It's a Trojan horse operation to flood Europe, America, Australia, and all the rest of the world with Taliban. It is a ruse. And I'll tell you how I know it's a ruse. It's because the way it's carrying on, we're being played here. Those planes are not filled with people running. That's why they're all young men. They're all combatants. Wake the fuck up. You have people saying, "Oh, look," and I did it myself. Oh, there's never any women, on the planes when these sudden explosions of refugees happen. No, because they're military fighting men of fighting age. They're here as military combatants, and they're being brought here by the same demon that was inside Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and now Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The same demon, the same jinn, is bringing them in. Now, how about them fucking apples? So, this is where we learn again. It's like we have to put the wall up a bit tighter. Anyone in your life who starts going on about, oh, these poor people, we have to take them in, oh, we have to bring them in, babbling collaborators. You're knowing who they are now. They will put, again, just like the Rona thing, they will tug on your heartstrings, play all the superficial emotions, pay no heed. The tribe and people like us who are rejecting the consensus must now form a tight defensive line. I know this because I'm a pagan. I'm not a Christian, so I don't go, open thy house to thy neighbour or lost stranger. No, pagans never behave like that. That's why we lived in constant forts, ring forts, long forts. This is why we lived in heavily defended territorial areas, marked out by nature and earthworks that our ancestors created. They didn't open thy home to the stranger. The steadfast thing that was adopted by Marxism as well, hence why Gary Lineker and all the Bob Geldof and all these types want to open your house to a Taliban combatant. Now, this video will probably be taken down, so it won't be on Odyssey, so if anyone is recording, can you record this just in case right now? Now, that's what's going on. That's why we're feeling the sense of evil. An invading army is on the way, brought here under the guise of refugees. These people are carrying... Now, I'm not saying all refugees from the Middle East are evil. I'm just saying many of them, lots of them wouldn't be. Most of them wouldn't be. But in this specific instance, I do not believe that the fuckers inside that plane are refugees. You look at them, they don't look like people who are doing too well. You were told that the Afghan army and the Afghan administration was living the high life. They look like, in the plains, they look like fellas who've been living in the mountains for a while. Have a look at them. They've got skin on their face. They're young guys. They have been combatants, and they haven't been doing it in Afghan army uniforms either. They're being brought in on purpose to attack us because we have been made soft. We've been made soft by a virus that you can't see, where you have the big burly hard man in town walking around with a flower mask on his face. First, they've softened up the defences, made everyone a terrified ninny. Now the invasion begins. We are in extreme danger. And this is not Islamophobia. These fuckers are being used too by the same globalists. This is what they're doing. This is why they know that loads of people who've taken the needlecraft are going to die before Christmas. Perhaps millions, okay? There won't be there'll be loads of job vacancies. Who gets them? And this is why it all ties in. Open thy home to thy stranger. Bring them all in. The ones, and also the same ones obsessed with the whole scamdemic. It's all tying in nicely. So we were thinking all along, what exactly is the purpose of the pandemic? Here we were. What was the purpose of the pandemic? Is it to reset the globalist economy under the World Economic Forum? Is it to bring UBI? No, it's to kill us all, to bring in them. Cheap labour. They'll be cheaper than us. It's evil on a mass scale. They don't have to pay their pensions now because they've killed all the old people with the needlecraft. They're attacking the kids now. People are dying left, right, and centre. I can see this conspiracy theorist fucker Sheridan. Oh yes, it's a conspiracy theory, and I'm fucking proud of it. Do you understand that? Because it's called protecting my own ass. What conspiracy is to people like me is intelligence gathering. You understand? It's not sitting there waiting for the man on the telly to give me sound bites that I can repeat ad hoc because I'm told to say them. Repeat certain phrases. Alt-right, far-right, conspiracy, COVID denier. We don't think like that. We're not in that robot meat world that you're in. This is why the sudden sense of evil washed over me a couple of hours ago. It's dawned on me, the first of these combatant troops have landed. They've broken through the beachhead. And it's not and I'm not blaming people from the Middle East, okay? Because I'm not blaming them because they're in a war against the West. They're fighting their own war, okay? Their own jihad. The ones who's let them in are the lefties and the liberals and the globalists. And you've been softened up for decades. Or the Sinn Féin having you all waving your Palestinian flags, your Celtic FC having you all waving your Palestinian banners. And they say, what was the purpose of Afghanistan? It was a complete mess. The US wasted tons of money. No, they didn't. Now we're seeing the purpose of it. To get them here. These are foot soldiers, the hitmen of the globalists against traditional Western society. Don't blame them, blame the globalists. This is literally the likes of George Soros, Bill Gates, and the rest of them, Tony Blair, all sitting down behind a table and going, Westerners are really expensive. They're all going to collect big pensions. And they quite frankly would say, let's kill them all with a virus and replace them with people from the Middle East that are cheaper. And you'll go, that's a conspiracy theory, as if like the African slave trade never happened. How did Native Americans do in the African trade slave? The African trade slave was as much to eliminate them as anything else. The transport agreement between Germany and Palestine, the movement of workers from Germany into labour camps in Eastern Europe, conspiracy theory. The kulaks being abandoned and left to starve in their millions across the Soviet Union because the Bolsheviks wanted their land, conspiracy theory. Remember the video I made that history hasn't ended? Now, this doesn't mean anyone who arrives here from the Middle East is a problem. I'm sure most of them are fine. What we're getting now is the army. We're getting the army. What you go back to that photograph of them inside the big transport plane, all sitting down, and that's your new army. That's your new security force. All you police who are dancing Jerusalem, Jerusalem. That's your replacement. Not very fucking clever, are you now? And I knew they were making a move yesterday when they put out the arrest warrant for Dolores Cahill. I don't know an awful lot about Dolores Cahill. I really don't. But she seems to be an okay person, whatever. I haven't really looked into it deeply. They put that arrest warrant out yesterday, and it causes a maelstrom of revulsion. It was designed to do that so they could use that to mask what the real purpose of the Afghan thing is. And people are saying, oh, it's an inflatable airplane, there's no one in it. Oh, bollocks. That's just a poor low-resolution video. It's nothing like that at all. And but it's full of psyops and everything, and black magic. The plane said 11-9, and this is the closing of the... This was what started with 9/11. It started with 9/11 was the start of a plan to replace us with what Hitler wanted, a fine Islamic army to control Europe. What do? Well, you make yourself aware of it, okay? You become discerning. You don't blame every Muslim or Middle East or Arab you ever see. Many of you need a spiritual firewall like you never fucking had one before. Those ones hanging on the outside of the plane, they were all MK Ultra'd or something like that, or hypnotized, brainwashed, or filled with jinns. That's real. They were clinging onto the outside of the plane like that, and they were waving as they were dying. That was MK Ultra and something like that. Now, if the ones that outside the plane weren't good enough to get into the plane, what were the ones inside it? And all those thousands and thousands along the airport are waving hands, and you're going, why are these people all smiling and dancing? Because they're going to be, if they're in danger of being killed by the Taliban at any moment. They are Taliban. They're being shifted over here. It's an invasion. It's a military invasion planned by the globalists, using the Taliban to attack you, me, and your family. And you are all going around with your mask going, street face, social distance. Don't listen to people who have a conspiracy theory. That's why you feel shit right now. That's why things feel so dark right now. Remember our Gary Lineker, take them into your home? Bob Geldof, Bono, take them into your home? An army needs a barracks. An army needs quartering. An army needs to be vuvact. What better place to quarter and barrack an army than in amongst the population? Of course, they all know this, or they've been told to say this. They know there's a payoff for them. It's fucking dark. It's fucking dark. So while you're all thinking that everyone, all them in that plane are all refugees escaping the Taliban, and the Taliban, that's why the Taliban is celebrating, riding dodgem cars and eating ice cream and dancing and partying. They've been given the go-ahead to invade the West. And the reason why that MAGA hat was behind the guy yesterday in Kabul was to make fun of people who supported Trump, because they're now saying, haha, you lost. Our man Biden is in there, and he's now opened the floodgates with this gin saturated skull. And you don't know how I know? You want to know how I know? Look, I've been studying this stuff for a long time, okay? What was the prominent these people send codes to one another to let them know what and when is happening. In recent months, we've been saturated with images of Joe Biden eating ice cream, critiques of Joe Biden eating ice cream. What are the first images they show of the Taliban in Afghanistan? Signs and symbols rule the world. Secret codes. Just like I came up with this so we could find each other, they have their own codes. Just like I use needlecraft as a cover word to miss the algorithms, they have their own signs and codes. Ice cream for ice cream. They have played a monumental fast one this time. The Taliban didn't win. The Afghan army didn't stand down. Biden and the rest of them told the Taliban, you're going to Disneyland.